Hello and welcome. Today we have a very special guest, San Diego native and Aztec legend. Please welcome Jesse Matthews. This video is sponsored by Aztec Link and their official content branch, the We Believe Network. The We Believe Network is a subscription-based platform that allows viewers to get access to exclusive Aztec content. That money is then reinvested back into the program to create NIL opportunities for the athletes themselves. Enjoy the video. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So Jesse was a senior here my true freshman year, and he was probably one of the first guys that, I always looked up to his work ethic, and just the way you were with other people was always super cool. As an older guy, it could have been easy to have like the big time status. You knew you were training for the draft and all that, but you were always cool with me. Would ask me to throw over the summer. We've been out to lunch a couple of times, went golfing, which he gave me a stroke on every hole and still whooped me. I think I was playing scramble too. I had a partner with Makai Shaw. Sorry to put you on blast. And you only had one. You only had one club.
I had one club, yeah.
So he's got the Tiger shirt on. He's legit. But yeah, so I appreciate you coming to do this with me, man. Yeah. Started off, I know you're a San Diego guy. I just want to ask you, what's some of your favorite food spots or places for the fans to go check out around here?
Yeah, I think one that comes to the top of my head was Bow-Legged Barbecue. It's right kind of by Lincoln High School, if you know where that's at. Really good Texas-style barbecue. I get their ribs. Their mac and cheese is probably the best I've ever had.
Solid.
Baked beans, cornbread. Really good food spot. Another place if you want more upscale is Lou and Mickey's, right by the gas lamp sign in downtown. My parents love going there. We go to all our special events, birthdays, whatever it may be, we go there, and really solid food spot. And also just any taco shop you can find in San Diego. I've now living in Texas and not being close to, real Mexican food or
tough
non-Tex-Mex Mexican food.
Yeah.
Definitely miss the taco shops here.
Gotcha, man. So growing up in San Diego, were you always an Aztec fan, or did you have another team that you aspired to when you were little?
Yeah, I always followed the Aztecs, obviously, because they're close to home. Growing up, my uncle played at USC, SoCal school. My uncle also played for the Chargers, so looking up to him when I was younger and wanted to do what he did. I liked USC. I liked Reggie Bush, obviously, 619, San Diego kid. So USC was probably a school that I watched a lot too, but San Diego State, I always used to go to Qualcomm Stadium and go to the games, and all my youth football teammates would go there, and it was always a great experience. So I have a connection to both, obviously more San Diego State, but USC was the other school that I probably watched.
Gotcha, man. Too. Nice. I always liked Andrew Luck and Tim Tebow were my guys. It's like anytime I was playing NCAA or something, those were my go-tos.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of high school, you come to SDSU and you walk on as a receiver, right?
Yeah.
So what was that process like for people who don't know? Is there tryouts, or how do you walk on out of college?
Yeah, there's two different types of walk-ons. I feel like maybe some people don't know. There's a preferred walk-on and there's like a tryout walk-on.
Okay.
So I think when most people think of walk-on, they think of someone that goes and tries out for the team in front of the coaches or whoever it may be, and then they get a spot on the team. And there's preferred walk-ons, which is like the school will offer you out of high school. And you have a spot and a roster spot on the team. You're just not on scholarship.
Gotcha.
So that's what I was. I was a preferred walk-on, and so basically I came in with all the scholarship guys for, how it is when you come in as a freshman with you're working out with the freshmen in the summertime. And I got here. I got a spot on the team. No scholarship or anything, but just all I really wanted was a shot to play for my hometown team and be part of a special program, and the rest is kind of history from there.
Awesome. One thing I noticed whenever I first got here was that there's really not a difference at all in the treatment or anything as far as like scholarship and non-scholarship. Like I didn't know at all until I was here for a couple months, like who was actually on scholarship and who wasn't, because everyone's just playing at such a high level. The distinction is so small, and I think the cool thing is there's no like everybody gets all the meals and all of the things that come with it. The only thing is obviously like the classes and that part. But so I want to hear about your journey, man, as far as coming in as a walk-on and then earning that scholarship. But what was that like? Talk about the journey, and then I want to hear after. I'll just ask you about, what that moment was like in your offer. But what was the journey like?
The journey was, um, I feel like I accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. I got put on scholarship my third semester here, so um, it felt like a long journey, but it wasn't that long. I know guys have been on the team for 4 or 5 years, and they wait to their senior year to get that scholarship. So I was super blessed to how quickly my work got recognized, and they appreciated what I was doing. So there's definitely some tough days in the beginning. I've told stories where some of the first days of fall camp, I was out there getting hemmed up, and I was I was a little overpowered, and I felt like I didn't know if I belonged, you know, on that field. And um, through a lot of support and love and confidence from my parents, they instilled in me, and they told me that I'm capable of doing it, and they believed in me um, on days that were tough for me. So I think that was a big part of my journey, dealing with the bumps and bruises, and you know um, taking the lumps and just learning from them and allowing them to make you better and not using it to quit.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that those dog days kind of paid off for me, and those special moments came. I kind of reflected back on days like that, and it made me appreciate them that much more.
Awesome, man. And I'm sure there's a lot of, whether it's high school, youth ball, other college kids watching this,
Yeah,
that can relate to, when you get to a new stage in your career or your football journey, and you feel like, man, I don't know if I can compete with these guys or if I
yeah.
belong here. So I know you said like your family helped you get through it. What was some other things that you used to like lean on to help you get that confidence? Like, you know what, I do belong here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I think for me, I had a really good position coach, and like you said, how this program as a whole, they treat you not walk on a scholarship player, they treat you as an Aztec, and
Mm-hmm.
he was someone who did that to the T. He treated me like I was just another one of his players, and he saw something in me, and he worked with me. He knew that I was going to pay attention to what he said. I was going to be coachable. I didn't have an attitude or anything. I just wanted to get better, and um, just kind of being a player who wants to be coached and can take his criticism and allowing that to make me better is what allowed me to have a lot of success for this program. And um, I'm just extremely grateful for honestly the support system I have with my family and the people in the building for
That's
sure.
awesome, man. So talk about the moment whenever you found out you were on scholarship. How did they tell you,
Yeah,
and who was the first person you told after?
yeah. We were in a we played our last regular season game of the year. It was BYU,
Okay.
and after that last game and you're not in the conference championship, you have to kind of wait around and see who you're going to play in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So that following week we had off after that game, and then it was until the following Monday where we had our team meeting. That would be like a normal team meeting after a game,
Mm-hmm.
and you get in there and it's pretty normal. You give the players awards for the game, player of the game, offensive, defense, special teams, whatever. And after they announced the awards, Coach Long went up there and he was like, "All right, we got one more announcement." He's like, "All right, Jawan," which was our running back at the time, and him and all the other seniors walked to the front of the auditorium, and they read a letter saying this is a scholarship being awarded for the 2020 uh, football season. Congratulations to Jesse Matthews.
Man.
And you can imagine the flood of emotions, and um, the people in the auditorium. All my teammates went crazy, throwing water on me. I had some staff members saying that they've seen a few other guys get put on scholarship, and that was probably one of the best reactions they've ever seen. So just that genuine love and support from my teammates meant more to me than you can even express. So
That's awesome. So
and
after they tell you in the meeting,
yeah,
everybody's going crazy. Do you get to go call your parents and stuff after, or do you still have to go to practice and do all that?
yeah, no, we go back to the locker room, get ready for practice, but I made sure to call my mom before I went out there.
Yeah.
And I I can still put myself in my shoes that day, and I remember calling her and looking at the letter. I have it in my hand, and I'm kind of tearing up a little bit, and I call her and I tell her, and she starts screaming on the phone, and she starts getting a little emotional too. So such a special moment, and something that's still very vivid to this day. And then I remember just the rest of practice. No matter what happened, I had a smile on my face for the for the rest of the day. So
That's awesome,
it was
because that's something
special.
that you work your whole life for, with that as
Yeah,
your I mean, NFL like is the big goal, which you've accomplished that now as well. But the first step to that is getting that college spot, and then
Yeah.
getting an offer is like really the reward for it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man.
For
So
sure.
for the kids out there, if you're a walk on and you are saying, man, how do I earn my spot? That would probably be my next question is I think your productivity on the field is really what put you in that situation.
Yeah.
So speak to like what things you did to get earn that scholarship, I guess is my question.
I think the biggest thing, and one of the biggest compliments I get from coaches or people around me is just the consistency.
Nice.
To show up every day and not have, everyone's gonna have bad days, or you're not gonna feel like doing something um, one day, or you're gonna be extra motivated one day. But just trying to find a consistency and a commitment to yourself, saying even when I don't feel like it, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was one thing that I really took pride in myself on, was just being the same guy every day and making sure that I'm doing everything that I can to be the best player that I can be.
Yeah.
And um, it's obviously a lot easier said than done. But I think if you just kind of make your mind up and tell yourself like, I'm gonna give myself the best shot I have at being successful,
Yeah.
and you'll be shocked how everything falls into place, and how much people will appreciate that and recognize that. And I promise you, it'll all work out for your benefit, and it'll be very rewarding. The result.
That's awesome. And like I like that you said consistency too, because when I think of who am I going to throw the ball to on third down, or when it's a 2-point conversion, I got to have someone I know is going to consistently get a release or consistently run his right route.
Yeah.
And so many receivers, might have like, oh man, you should see his one-handed catches, but half the time he's blocking when it's a pass play or things like that. So just consistency is so
and
key.
Reliability is just I think that's what I really wanted to be. I think for me, not being the stereotypical or the prototypical wide receiver, I knew that the things I could control are my work ethic and my consistency, my reliability, and taking care of my body and doing the little things right, and letting that take me as far as possible.
That's awesome.
That was a big key to my success for sure.
Nice, man. Yeah. So for me, as far as recruiting and like trying to get a scholarship went in high school, the COVID year was my junior year, so it didn't impact me as much as people who had it their senior year, but definitely slowed things down.
Yeah.
And I remember I had taken an unofficial visit to Fresno State, and we'd been talking to their coaches and stuff, and they were the first ones that called me, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, we thought about it. And we really want to offer you a scholarship." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, thank you so much." And they go, "But we don't have any spaces left. So we're going to see how many of our quarterbacks want to come back, and we'll try to let you know." Yeah. I just remember that phone call. I was like, like this is the thing, dude. Yeah. I've been working the whole, like, what I've been dreaming about. And they're like, "Oh yeah, but," like, he just phrased it the worst way possible.
Yeah, that's tough.
That
hurts.
That was a bummer. But I think actually a couple months later, it was Chris Johnson, one of our DBs, his high school coach, because Chris was already committed here, and we played against them.
Yeah.
And he put in a good word for me to Coach Coop, and that's like how I started talking to them.
Yeah, I remember watching your. It's funny. I remember watching your high school highlight tape.
Really, they showed
in the meeting room. Yeah, it was
That's
like
right. You did tell me about that.
Yeah, just before one of the practices, before I started watching film, and Coach Coop said, "I want you guys to see this kid that I'm looking at," and I was like, "This kid can spin it."
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so it's crazy how it's come full circle.
Yeah, just the connections, how it worked out. So I was grateful for obviously Chris and his coach, and then for Coach Coop taking a chance on me. That's awesome. All right, man. Jumping into your college career, what was your first touchdown catch like? Who was it against? And just walk me through the play, man.
Yeah, that was the very last game of my freshman year, my redshirt freshman year, I guess.
Okay.
In our bowl game, the Mexico Bowl, and playing against Central Michigan, and we got the ball first. And I know that it was weird because normally for some reason that year, we always either won the toss or the other team always wanted the ball first. So we never really had the ball first too often.
Gotcha.
But that game we lost the toss and they deferred, so we had the chance to go down there and score on the first drive.
Were you hyped every time you lost the toss? You're like,
yes. Honestly, I didn't really care either way, but
that was good. So I don't want to derail the story, but are you a start with the ball guy, or would you rather defer as a receiver?
I think I grew up. My coach always took the ball, and his mindset was to establish kind of the dominance and tell them that we're going
Yeah.
to score
Hmm.
on the first play of the game and set the tone. But I think the strategical way to do it is you want the ball in the second half because you could go for the 2-for-1 kind of method
Gotcha.
at the end of the first half. So I think I
Hmm.
would be a defer kind of guy, but I do get the mindset of okay, we want the ball and we're gonna go score,
Yeah,
and that can be intimidating too.
for sure. Yeah,
Because when that
starting.
does happen, when somebody
Hmm.
does take the ball and it goes to score as a tone setter for the game, and that
Yeah,
can
or if you could put together two in a row and now it's
yeah
14-0, like you could get some people to quit
yeah for
already.
sure
But at the same time, having that hope of like, okay, we get the ball, it's like
yeah.
you're always still in the
It's
game.
two different mindsets. It's really I guess depending on the coaching style and if you're a risk taker or if you want to just like have that fallback plan.
Yeah.
So
And it is deflating as a offense. I'm like, all right, we're down 14 going to half. Oh man.
and they get the
And they get
yeah.
yeah.
So
So I see both sides. That's
yeah for
good.
sure.
Sorry. So back to your story. You guys start with the
Start with
ball.
the ball. Yeah, we start with the ball. Good drive. Get a couple runs. And then we're around the 20-yard line, I want to say. And I have the route that was called, the play that was called, I have a hitch route. And the cornerback was pressed against me. So you know what that means. So
Yeah.
he's pressed. I convert it into a fade route. And had a really good release. I get past his hip, and he holds me a little bit. I'm hand fighting with him, and I create separation. And I just see the ball get sent up in the air, and it's a little past me, a little outside of my range. So I dive and I catch it, turn my body, and I scored that first round of the game, and that was my first collegiate touchdown.
Dang, man.
And I started that whole year, so I was a little bummed going into that game. I didn't have a touchdown yet, but that moment right there was worth the wait, and all my teammates swarmed me and celebrated, and then we went on later that game to score 48 points. So it was just an onslaught.
Started it off.
Yeah, but it was a great memory.
So diving fade ball over the outside shoulder. That's the first one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What was the celebration? You remember? Just
I
hand the ball to the ref.
no no
No, you
no
went crazy.
no. I had like this thing. I don't know why I did this my freshman year, but I had this thing where I like put my foot out, I'd like
Like
get
the
super
Ray Lewis kick,
yeah
kind of.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, and then I do like this shoulder shrugs.
Like the backpack one.
Yeah yeah. So
Yeah.
I did both of those on that one play.
I've seen a couple. What's some of your top celebrations from your career? I've seen a couple good ones.
And the one I have to go with is against UNLV my junior year when I scored 3 touchdowns.
Hmm.
I had two in the first half, and then I was thinking in the locker room, this is probably isn't the greatest thing to be thinking about, but like if I get my third touchdown, I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have a game
Yeah.
plan for it, man.
So lo and behold, we're up 21-20 with 4 minutes left, and we kind of need another score to separate.
Hmm.
And it's like 4 minutes left in the game, and we're driving down, and it's third down, like third and goal, and I run a slant route, catch it to make the lead go 20-20, and
Oh, yeah, that's big.
yeah, I catch it, and I look in the crowd, and I go,
You counted them up.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
that was a fun one. That was a good one for sure.
That's really good. I know I've seen the back ends.
Yeah, that's just a classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
I think, did you blow a kiss or did you wave to the crowd? I remember one of those
Oh,
specifically.
I blew a kiss my senior year at San Diego State. Against San Jose State. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And then I wanted to wave to the crowd against San Jose State my junior year when I caught that walk-off touchdown.
Yeah, for the overtime winner.
Yeah, but I didn't know if I was gonna get a flag and they're gonna
Oh, then the game's
call
still
back.
going or
Yeah,
something.
So I would have been sick.
Yeah,
So I just kind of looked at the crowd as I was running. But,
good call. Yeah, and I in high school, I never really had like celebrations. I would just kind of go. I always made sure I gave the O line love if it's a passing touchdown.
yeah,
Because I'm standing right there next to him. I throw it. Everyone goes and swarms the receiver. So I made sure
Yeah.
like every single one of them, I give them a big hug or like
yeah.
we were
That's
always
good.
just going crazy. We just jump up.
Yeah.
I would always make sure I got the O line. But I did the first game of my senior year. We're playing Santa Margarita, it's like a private school.
Yeah.
And they were projected to beat us like by like 14 or something. It was like what people were saying. And so
Yeah.
before the game, they're on our field on the 50, stomping on it and spitting on the logo and posting it on Instagram. So I told them like, all right, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. So then whatever, the game goes on, it's fourth quarter. We're up by like 14, I think, with probably a minute left, and we're on their like 10-yard line.
Mhm.
And my coach calls like it was a timeout, and he's like, all right, we're just gonna take a knee. I was like, coach, they spit on the logo. I told him, he's like, they did what? I was like, coach, they were stomping and spitting on the logo. Like, please.
Yeah.
And I had to talk him into it. He's like, all right, you can run one more play and we're going to run up the middle and then we're taking a knee.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, all right, cool. So we go to run it and I turn and the running back goes the wrong way. So I'm just holding the ball and there's no running back.
Yeah.
Turned and I followed him and we scored. And I just went crazy. I threw the ball to the ref, and our student section in high school was like right behind the end zone.
Oh, that's sick.
It was so cool. Yeah, I like that they did that. So I threw the ball to the ref, and I just went to the student section. I was like, yeah. I remember I had no plan because I thought I was about to hand it off, but I just lost it. It just went crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I was never a huge like extravagant celebration guy. Just kind of simple, and I didn't want to get flagged and get yelled at by one of my coaches.
For sure.
Kept it pretty subtle.
Dude, I had a O lineman that same senior year. We played Rancho Cucamonga. We threw a touchdown pass to like basically ice the game. I think we were up by like it made us up by 21 or 30 with like not enough time for him to come back left.
Yeah.
And he ran over to their student section and did like was it Ocho Cinco? They did the fake moon.
Oh, that was Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, yeah, he did the Moss like fake moon to their student section. And because like he was an O lineman and like everybody was focused on where the ball was, they didn't see it. Yeah, nobody saw it. We're in film the next like on Sunday or whatever. Our coach was like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Like, what was the game plan?" That's awesome. He was pissed, man. But it was pretty funny in the moment for us.
It's funny.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah. So I just want to circle back. I know we talked a lot about Coach Coop already.
Yeah.
You got any good Coach Coop stories, or just want to speak on the type of guy he is?
Yeah. Not a specific story, but maybe just the person he was and the role he played for me and all the receivers. We were talking about it earlier, like how he just knew when he knew what we needed, and he was a player, and he knew, he could feel our emotions and he could feel what we were thinking before he even said anything. So there was like a moment during fall camp, maybe my sophomore or junior year, where we're right in the thick of it, like 15 practices in. Everyone's tired, probably 8 o'clock at night. People's bodies are tired. Minds are kind of checked out, and we're watching film, and somebody makes a mistake or something funny happens, during practice, and he kind of just pauses it and starts going in on this one kid. I forget who it was exactly, but the entire room was cracking up. We probably were laughing about that play for like 20 minutes straight, and then after that, he just let us out and let us go home. So, just the leader he was, the coach he was, how he knew what we were feeling, and just his character, someone that we all looked up to, and he's obviously a vital part of my career. I credit a lot of stuff, a lot of my success to him.
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, shout out to Coach Coop. I know my first week here. Well, first of all, he helped get me here, but first week here, I just went to lunch with him at Eureka, and we probably sat and talked for like an hour or so, just giving me advice, telling me about his life. Which he's got an awesome story, but he was a great guy. And then also, I do have one good Coach Coop story. So we were sitting in the snack room lounge, the recruiting lounge.
Yeah.
And we were just hanging out, and he comes in there, and one of the receivers, I guess, had told a teacher that he couldn't come to the quiz because he had a family emergency in Jamaica and he couldn't make it the day before. So he comes in, Coach Coop, he's like, "Hey, how's your trip?" He's like, "What?" He goes, "Your Jamaica trip. You have a good time?" He's like, "Must have been a quick flight. You're here already." He's like, "Oh, Coach." He's like, "Nope, go get your stuff. You're out." And he made him go clean out his locker. He's like, "You're not going to miss a test, first of all, and then you're going to lie, and you're going to lie to me by not telling me about it." It's like, "Get out." Dude, he cleaned out his locker. Dude was gone the next day.
Yeah. He's with him, he cares about you as a person
more than anything. Yeah. More than anything.
His big thing was just making sure that he's establishing, men in his room and on this team. He was a big believer in that he's a man before he's a football coach, and he's a developer of men. He's not necessarily just a football coach. So, yeah, for him, he let you have a couple chances, but I know exactly who you're talking about, and he had
that was a lot. That wasn't the first.
Yeah. So, he can be tough on you, but it's out of your best interest, and I try not to get on his bad side too many times.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's smart. Yeah, so I know you've played with a lot of great players here and now at Houston, man. So just Talk about some of your funniest guys you've been around. If you got any
Yeah.
good stories from them.
Yeah. I think one that jumps out is David Delgado.
Oh man, Delgado, yeah.
Yeah, he was our kicker, and he got here probably my second or third year with the program. Um, but with him, I always told him like, bro, whenever you come around, like you don't have to say anything. Like I'm gonna start like laughing. Like you're
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what it was about him, but his just the energy and the kind of goofiness that he brought, and just the things he would say would just make me crack up every time I saw him. So he's a guy. You didn't think about him now. He just does dumb stuff and he says stupid things, but such a comedic relief. So that was a guy that I immediately thought of when you asked me that.
Shout out to Delgado, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember just laughing hard anytime it was like me, you, TJ, Shavers, and Braxton like
Yeah.
going to throw. It
Yeah.
was probably about like 80% good work and then 20% just like
Messing around. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like the probably the funniest one was I don't know if you remember. Yeah, you probably remember, but we were coming back up the steps from throwing on the turf field,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked up there first, and I stepped in the middle of like a ROTC
Yeah.
simulation. You remember that
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
So they had like two groups, and the ROTC is like the soldiers in training, the military training, and there's one group like behind the benches and like posts up behind like a wall on one side, and the other group was behind the other building, crouched down, and like they must have been running a training scenario or something, but one of them threw a ballpoint pen and yelled "grenade,"
Yeah.
and it rolled like right to my feet. I just looked up and I ducked behind the. I had to hop in, dude. I was in the heavy fire.
Yeah.
I went and hid behind the benches, and they came out. They're like, "Pow, pow, 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 pow,
Yeah.
pow."
Yeah.
And I remember after I looked out, and Shavers just sprawled out on the
Oh,
floor.
yeah.
He was crying, laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrell's a great. Yeah. Terrell's funny too, man.
Yeah, man.
These guys from because he's from Texas, and I feel like guys from like Texas or Florida or like the South, they just their comedy style or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it's the accent or something. It's just it's a lot of what they say is just hilarious.
Oh, dude, sorry. I wasn't even thinking about this till you brought up guys from Florida. We had a receiver on our team this last year,
Mhm.
and he asked me because I have a truck to take him mattress shopping to go get wood.
Yeah.
And so we get into the place, and the worker's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" He goes, "What's up, boss man? Show me your finest mattress." So the guy's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So he takes him over to like, I think it was like $7,000 the
Yeah.
mattress he shows him, and he tries it out for at least like 4 or 5 minutes, like
Yeah.
a solid tryout. And he's
Yeah.
like talking to guys, like, "Oh yeah, like what kind of technology does it have?" Like, he's asking about it. He's like, "All right, yeah, I'll take this one, wrap it up." And the guy's like, "All right, yeah, that'll be 7,000." He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, "You got anything for like 200?" The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I could take you to the back closet."
Yeah.
So we go to like the back thing. But yeah, like you said, bro,
They're funny, man.
probably I met the funniest people just from college football and high school football
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
You
that's the
just meet
amazing thing about-
characters.
Yeah, like high school, obviously you have your boys that you kind of grew up with or go to
Mhm.
class with or go to school with. But the thing I love about college football and even the next level is like you meet so many people, different people from different walks of life, and
Yeah.
you get to learn about them and where they're from, and like helps you become a more well-rounded person. Just interaction with these people. So I think football is such a special thing, special game where you can have people from the nicest parts of the country to the um, most struggling parts of the country, and they come together for a common goal, and it's special that you can become brothers with these guys and best friends, and you can go through different trials and tribulations. So
Yeah, like you
it's
said, like
special.
every background,
Yeah,
and I think our team is up in the hundreds as far as like
yeah,
lockers and
yeah,
know,
115 or around
something
there.
like that. Yeah. So it's not like you're on a basketball team probably has 20 guys or something.
Yeah.
You see a lot of different people. So
Yeah, it's special.
that part's been cool. Thanks for tuning in. Want to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors, Aztec Link and the We Believe Network. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and check out the link in the description to get started today.